office out of respect. They give their life for the love of this country. I love this country as well. It is an honor for me to perform for the president of the United States, regardless of who is in office. If President Biden would have asked me to perform, I would have performed. If Vice President Kamala Harris would have won and asked me to perform, I would have performed. I did it.
Since Ashanti seems to think that Kelly is madly in love with her boyfriend and is not interested in him, it appears that there is a strange love triangle involving Ashanti, Kelly, Rowan, and Nelly. Nelly decided to perform at the presidential inauguration, so you all know how he has been pulled for food. Kelly is accused of preventing Nelly from playing her hit song, Dilemma, which suggests that she may have been involved in the entire incident. We common people assumed that she blocked him because she did not approve of his behavior. However, it appears that Ashanti thinks Kelly blocked the song because she still loves Nelly and is envious that he picked Ashanti over her. The streets are talking, but it is a reach, you know. Does this imply that the rumors that Nelly and Kelly are dating have some merit? When Kelly was still with Destiny's Child and they were on tour for the MTV program Total Request Live in 2001, they first crossed paths. Do you recall TRL? They collaborated on the song Dilemma the following year, which won them a Grammy and peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And because of how well they clicked, there were rumors that they were secretly hooking up and had a little something going on. Nelly made Kelly swoon, saying things like, "I love Nelly. This song is so catchy." Nelly has a great ear. He came up with this really catchy hook, "I love you and I need you." And everybody sings it. A lot of people can relate to it too. People find themselves in a dilemma. I just had a lot of fun recording the song and it didn't even feel like work. However, that was not the only song they collaborated on. In 2011, they also worked together on another song called Gone. The music video was also a little sultry, and there were more and more rumors that they were dating. Additionally, it was rumored that the music video was really a front to conceal the fact that they were covertly hanging out together. However, Kelly publicly refuted that rumor, saying Nelly and I are not dating. He actually has been a friend of Destiny's Child for years. Nelly's like a big brother. However, the rumors eventually subsided. Additionally, each of them has been pursuing their own goals. Kelly has 2 complete children and was married in 2014. Nelly was dating for a while. Prior to their tumultuous breakup, he and his ex-girlfriend Chantel were in a committed relationship. In 2023, he also made amends with his Ashanti. In July 2024, they welcomed their first kid together after being married that same year. In other words, both of them have been doing well in their private lives. Since she made plans to perform at Trump's inauguration, Nelly has been under constant criticism. However, Snoop and Nelly have been hauled while other artists are getting away with it. Supporters have accused them of selling out by siding with an administration that many perceive to be anti-black and racist. Artists always take sides during election seasons, and the reaction is nothing new. Some even spawned crazy rumors that Nelly was secretly a Republican, or that he was only doing the job because he was a robot. In any case, this one has not been tolerated by the internet. Nelly was not going to remain silent in the face of the criticism. He made it plain when he joined Willie B on a live performance. He reiterated that he had every right to enter the stage since he loves his nation and respects the presidency regardless of who holds it, and that he was not just playing for the money.
Office out of respect. They give their life for the love of this country. I love this country as well. It is an honor for me to perform for the president of the United States, regardless of who is in office. If President Biden would have asked me to perform, I would have performed. If Vice President Kamala Harris would have won and asked me to perform, I would have performed. I did a thing with Vice President Kamala Harris. Could have been last year, a year or two ago, a Juneteenth event. I respect the office. It wasn't politics. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was an honor to do it.
Considering the backlash that you received for agreeing to this performance, right?
But I've been getting backlash. I've been getting backlash my whole career.
But this particular backlash is different. Right. How do you reconcile your artistic choices with the diverse political beliefs of your fan base?
That's my fan base. If my fan base really have a political belief, right? Here's the thing. Like, I agree in family first. I believe in family first. Period. Family before politics. Family above and beyond.
In other words, he stood 10 toes down on his decision and was not here for the drama. Did that, however, lessen the rage? Not even close. The internet continued the dragging session, and fans remained enraged. He clarified that his choice was not political because Nelly was not finished, questioning why black military personnel received different treatment. For him, there was no difference in performing during the inauguration. It was not about supporting a certain person, it was about representing his nation.
Money to do that. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because it's an honor. I respect the office. It don't matter who is in office. The same way that our men and women, our brothers and sisters who protect this country have to go to war and have to put their life on the line for whoever in office. So if they can put their life on the line for whoever in office, I can damn sure perform for whoever.
What do you say to the people that say we're not giving you this backlash because of your political affiliation or your political choice or whatever? We're giving you this backlash because you are propping up a white supremacist.
I would ask them to show me where he's a white supremacist. And here's the thing.
However, they were not really reassured by that explanation. When he was hauled for disrespecting the military, the internet was not trying to find out. People really began to criticize Nelly's bank account. After all this talk about him allegedly selling out for a check, was he truly so depressed? But this is Nelly, one of the most well-known performers of the early 2000s. Nearly 25 years ago. However, he has had successful songs, significant sponsorship deals, and even a clothing and sneaker brand of his own. Many multi-platinum musicians nonetheless experience financial difficulties as a result of poor negotiations, poor management, or even ordinary spending. Not to mention that Nelly had an entire incident in the past where fans actually assisted him in paying off a big tax debt by continuously pouring heat in here, and just that made folks wonder if he still had as much money as he formerly had. However, there were some new rumors about Nelly having financial problems just when people thought it was all conjecture. Additionally, an insider publicly revealed his poor spending patterns, asserting that at one point his financial choices were causing him and Ashanti to struggle. Thus, it is possible that the rumors were not entirely unfounded. Given the money looked a little odd, it is possible that Nelly actually accepted the inauguration check. In any case, the internet continued to mock him, despite his explanation. And the drama continued to develop. You are already aware of Nelly's severe gambling addiction and his minor legal troubles if you have followed him over the years. But instead of celebrating his huge gain, he ended up leaving in handcuffs after winning the jackpot at a Missouri casino last year, which caused a lot of chaos. This is what transpired. He won a $50,000 win while Nelly was playing the slots informally at the Hollywood Casino in Street Charles, Missouri. You would assume that he would be lucky today, would you not? Before he could even collect his winnings, the casino did a brief background check, which is the usual process for a huge payoff. With one free hand chained to a chair, they allowed him to finish collecting his earnings. The police immediately walked him out of the casino after slapping him with both cuffs as soon as he had his money. It appears that Nelly's arrest at the casino involved more than just some unpaid parking charges. It went farther than that. An early traffic stop resulted in the active warrant that led to his detention. The worst part is that Nelly had previously been entangled in a similar situation. If we go back a little, he was the talk of the internet in January 2023 for a different reason. Let us just say that his performance at the Melbourne Juice Fest was not his greatest. A video of it went viral. Nelly appeared to be in a state of disarray throughout the video, as he was looking off into space, rolling his eyes, and utterly lacking signals for his own songs. Since it was quite obvious that he was floating, fans began speculating about what he was on right away. People began to groan at Nelly a lot at this point, though, because of the gambling, the arrest, and the dubious performance clips. Was he experiencing a difficult time, or was this a more serious problem that was catching up with him? In any case, it was obvious that something, and not a good one, was wrong with him. When Nelly's circumstances deteriorated, particularly following that widely shared video, his behavior gave the impression that he was totally depressed, and his substance abuse became a major source of worry for his followers. Nelly even received some guidance from Bone Thugs and Harmony's Flesh and Bone. He talked to TMZ after watching the video and gave some personal perspective, saying that he had been clean for 2 months and had abstained from drugs, alcohol, and marijuana for a good 6 months. Then turned to Nelly and gave him a more direct warning, telling him to cut back on the drugs.
I gotta ask you about this viral Nelly video from his performance in Australia.
Oh,
he got
man.
the eyes rolling in his head.
Oh, the eyes rolling in the back of the head.
He's looking off into space.
He's gibberish with the gibberish lyrics and everything. You know, first of all, I like to say that to the whole world, announce my sobriety. I've been 2 months without no liquor, almost 6 months without no dope, without no weed, none of that stuff like that. So first of all, that's one of the reasons why I quit doing substances, because they all gateway drugs. All y'all dopers out there, y'all better be careful, because it's dangerous. You don't know what's in it. But he was out there wigged out. You can tell he was stoned, because he started, you know, the gibberish and everything. He just started doing all types of
I gotta know, how hard is it though? Like, yeah, I mean, in the past, you know, Bone Thugs was hardcore back,
right.
Like, you know, when you guys were young, you came up like, you know, that was like the culture. Like,
that was a culture.
You probably
unfortunately,
walk on stage, you know, and I gotta know, like, how hard is it to perform under those conditions? You know, when you're lit.
So that's the thing. You think it's cool, but it's really it's like it's hard to really stay on point. For some people, they can handle it. If you can't handle it, don't even go there. You dig what I'm saying? But it's real easy to get caught up and slip and forget your lyrics, especially when you geeked off something that's super strong. So but a part of the culture, that's one of the things why I had to get right, because, you know, some of it's like nobody falls into the instance. Everybody sometime along the way miss a word or two, a line or two, or half of a verse or whatever, and you know what I'm saying. So, you know, it happens. We human, we make mistakes, but man, them substances, man, it depends on what it is too. Man, you played it off real good, Nelly. That was a good one, bro. You played it off, man, but kind of like let Nelly, you too good to be on that type of shit. Man, you look at it kind of like threw you off, man. I never seen you like that, man. It kind of you might want to take the dose, either take the dose down on it a little bit. Just a word of advice, man.
Jeez.
Leave that SHIT alone, man. It ain't even worth it, man. Leave that. It should have made you look real kind of like out there, bro. But you shining, bro. You look too good to be out there forgetting your lyrics, looking out into space, eyes rolling in the back of your head. Hey, that's now you can't take that away. It is what it is. We all saw it. So kind of like it'd be a good idea to kind of like leave that alone, man. You got too much money to make, and that shit is in your way.
Given how simple it is to get caught up, the council appeared to be given with sincere care. Flesh and Bone obviously did not want Nelly to continue to deteriorate. All of this served as a reminder of how quickly things can go wrong with drugs, particularly in a field where pressure may be quite high. However, given Nelly's history of substance abuse and legal issues, the Juice Fest episode should not have come as a surprise to anyone, because it has been a pattern for him for years. Nelly was caught in possession of marijuana, cocaine, and even a loaded gun on his tour bus back in 2012. All of these items were discovered during the search at a Border Patrol checkpoint in West Texas, where his bus had halted. The absurd thing is that Nelly and the rest of her staff were fired because someone else on the crew took the blame. Naturally, though, the police entered to conduct a search. What did they discover? There were several guns without the required permits, as well as more prohibited narcotics. Fans were compelled to make the connection after the footage of the Juice Fest went viral. It was no secret that Nelly had a history of substance abuse and legal troubles, so it felt like the same old tale was being told again when he appeared on stage in that state. Nelly's situation worsened when he was hit with numerous fresh counts, such as simple possession of marijuana, criminal possession, and possession of paraphernalia. Nelly's moves did not even surprise some people, who compared him to Trump, especially since both men have a history of SA allegations, because in 2018, Monique, a 21-year-old college student, filed a lawsuit that further damaged Nelly's reputation. Before he was scheduled to play at a Florida-Georgia line performance, she accused him of using her on his tour bus. He offered to drive her to an after-party when she went to a Nelly event in Auburn, Washington. According to Monique, things took an unsettling turn once they were on the tour bus. Nelly allegedly led her to his bedroom at the rear of the bus and then proceeded to have S with her without getting her permission. The lawsuit's specifics were sufficient to further cast doubt on Nelly's moral fiber. It had further exacerbated the public's mounting disenchantment with him, nor were these accusations merely rumors. Many admirers felt deceived by the bleak portrayal of Nelly that Monique's case presented. After the initial inappropriate behavior, Monique said that Nelly went even farther and SA her, which caused the situation to quickly escalate. She claimed that Nelly had the audacity to ask her to spend the weekend with him following the event. She claimed that Nelly tossed a $100 bill at her as she was leaving, and that Nelly had his entourage push her off the bus. when she screamed that she wanted to go. Nelly's legal team initially retaliated forcefully, accusing Monique of foul chasing and branding her greedy. They categorically denied every accusation. She said that Nelly invited her and a friend to a VIP backstage area following one of his performances in England in June 2016. She claims that Nelly tried to stop her from leaving by improperly touching her, but she ultimately decided it was time to leave. At a meet and greet following one of his performances in England, the second woman, Jane Doe 2, related her own terrifying experience. He allegedly started praising himself in front of her, attempted to remove her top, and made several attempts to kiss her after Nelly invited her to his dressing room, according to her. Fans were left reeling with several doubts about Nelly's ethics and if these claims were the result of a single occurrence or a pattern of behavior that was difficult to ignore. These new accusations formed a very worrisome picture. A week later, the lawsuit was dismissed when Monique declined to appear in court, claiming she did not think the legal system would provide her with justice. It was a depressing conclusion to what might have been a significant event in her life, but it also strengthened the belief that Nelly had escaped grave repercussions. Considering everything that was going on with Nelly, Ashanti's decision to reconcile with him after 10 years apart truly caught many fans off guard. Some people were not happy with Ashanti's decision to get back in touch with Nelly after everything that happened and the chaos that surrounded him. Ashanti made it apparent that, although they were no longer at odds, there was nothing more going on between them, and Nelly first tried to appear calm and pretend like they were just friends. Nelly supported it by stating that they were still only friends, even though time had repaired their relationship. Nevertheless, there were some hiccups in the relationship when Nelly was accused of cheating on her with his ex-girlfriend. Chantel said that he attempted to have an affair with her while Ashanti was pregnant. Although there is no proof that he has cheated on Ashanti, Nelly has acknowledged infidelity in previous relationships, and it appears that she still has some doubts and worries that he would do the same to her. And source claims that because of her problem with Nelly, she appears to be particularly insecure around Kelly Rowland. Ashanti appeared to assume that it was due to jealousy and that they were still infatuated with one another. However, I would like to know your thoughts on this matter. Leave a comment below with your opinions, and I will talk to you later.